Good morning, guys. I'm so sorry I'm not with you today, but I have a mini lesson and we're gonna have some fun, okay? So before we start, I want you guys to go get a stuffed animal or a brother or a sister or a grown-up or a dog or anybody or anything that you can talk to, okay? They don't even have to talk back, okay? I'll give you a minute. Or you can pause me. All right, guys. So make sure you have something to talk to, because when I say turn and talk, that is what you're going to talk to, that person or that stuffed animal, whatever you have, okay? All right, guys. So we're going to talk about the story, The Magic Rabbit. I know we really liked this one, okay? So I want to talk about it. The magician and the rabbit were best friends that got separated, and then the rabbit found its way back home, okay? So turn and talk to your partner, your stuffed animal, or your person, okay, about the part of the story that you thought was interesting. Tell your partner why you thought that part was interesting. If you don't have a partner, you can talk to me, okay? I thought it was interesting when the rabbit found the little pieces of gold star, okay, right here, and followed it until they found, who did they find? You're right, they found the magician. Great job, guys. So we're talking about and thinking about things in this book. When you share your thinking, okay, you're sharing your opinion and what the story meant to you, okay? So let's talk about The Relatives Came. Do you guys remember that book? I didn't bring it with me, but you remember that book. We just read it, okay? So the relatives came and they were crowded in there together for a long visit, right? Okay. Would you like to share an interesting part of that book with your partner? Go do that now. I thought it was interesting when they were all in those little beds all over. Some of them didn't even have a bed. Some of them were sleeping on the floor, weren't they? Hey, I thought that was interesting. I'm sharing my opinion. I'm talking about a book. Okay? The last book I want to talk about is Sitting Down to Eat. Do you remember this book? It was really funny. Remember, the house went boom. Okay? So I remember that all of the animals kept knocking on the door. Okay? They kept saying they wanted to come in and eat. And did he let them? He did. You're right. Okay? So I thought that it was really funny. Can you tell your partner, your stuffed animal, or your person what you thought was funny about this story? I thought the funny part was the last part when the little caterpillar, where is it, came in and he let him, right? He let the little caterpillar in, and I thought it was funny when it went boom. Okay? So these are all things that are parts of books that we enjoy, that we share with others. We're sharing our opinion. Okay? So let me share my screen with you and talk about some other ways that we can talk about books. Okay? Share my screen. All right. There we go. Make a funny face at the screen if you can see my screen. I'm so glad you can see it. So here's our anchor chart for our lesson, okay? So when we're thinking about books, you read and then we share them with others, okay? So we might think and talk about how characters remind you of other characters. Maybe one of the characters in Sitting Down to Eat reminded you of another story that you've read. Maybe when you're reading a Mo Willems book, you might think, wow, Piggy really reminds me of another character from another book you read. Okay, that's a way that you can talk about a book. An interesting way to talk about a book is to talk about the problem. Okay, lots of stories have problems in them. Okay, a good way to share your thinking of a book is to share what your thought is on the problem. Okay, let's see. Ooh, we're getting really good at this one, guys. This is the setting. We can talk about and share our feelings about the setting. Okay, so the setting of the Magic Rabbit was where? Do you remember? It was in the city. Here's a picture of a city. Okay, you might want to talk about the setting with somebody. You could say, the setting of this story reminds me of when I went to the city. Okay, or you could compare them. Did you ever read Knuffle Bunny? Knuffle Bunny took place in the city too. That was the setting. Okay, it also had a bunny. So you could talk about the similar characters, or you could talk about the similar setting. They both had bunnies, and they were both set in the city. Okay, so that would be a good connection to make and a good thing to talk about. The other thing you could talk about was the illustrations. And I know we talked about the illustrations quite a bit in this story. Okay, the Magic Rabbit. We said the illustrations were interesting because they were all black and white except for the color, right? We remember the little yellow pieces scattered throughout the story. Okay, so that's one way we could talk about the illustrations. In Mo Willems' books, the illustrations are simple. Sometimes it's just elephant on a page or elephant and piggy. Okay, illustrations are something interesting you can talk about. Ooh, now sitting down to eat has some funny parts, like we said. You might find a funny part as you're reading. I thought it was funny in Sitting Down to Eat that the elephant had a little like cupcake on his nose. Did you notice that? Okay, so I might, if I wanted to remember that and tell somebody afterwards, okay, I might say, ooh, Mr. Henning would find that really, really funny. So I might take a little sticky note, okay, and put a sticky note on the page right there by the funny little cupcake, okay? And when I close it and I go home, I can come find it and say, Mr. Henning, come look. I thought this was really funny, and I thought you would find it funny too. Okay, I can put many sticky notes on pages too. Okay, so I might think I want to share the page where it went boom. So I can take another sticky note. And I can sticky note that page as well. Okay, so now when I close it, I don't have to search and find the page. I can go straight to my sticky note and open it up. And I could say, Mr. Henning, look, I thought this page was funny. Okay, the sticky notes help me. Okay, the last thing that we could talk about when we're sharing books with others is the ending. Okay, and that's kind of like that boom page there. That's how our story ended. Okay, so I can share the ending of a story, but I wouldn't want to spoil it for somebody. But if you've both read the story, you can talk about the ending together. Okay, so what I would like you to do today, let me stop sharing my screen. What I would like you to do today is just what I did there. I would like you to find a book. Maybe you've read it before, or maybe it's a new book for you. Okay, as you read, I want you to think about places, one or two, that you might want to remember and talk about with somebody else. Okay, when you find those pages, put a sticky note on them, okay, or put a little bookmark in there if you don't have a sticky note. Okay, you have a seesaw activity on up there that asks you to do that, and then show me on Seesaw so I can see. So if you see something in a book you have at home that you think I might like, then you can show me that. Okay, I cannot wait to see, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye guys.